Alright people, special impromptu episode here. As you may have heard, the Roe v. Wade decision got overturned by the Supreme Court today. We're headed down to Denver's Capitol, Colorado's Capitol building, to ask a small group of staunch, dedicated protesters what are their thoughts on the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade in this historic moment. In this episode of Nick in the Streets, we're getting down to real journalism, real facts. I'm going to be asking some real questions here in this Vox Populi format. So, this episode, of course, will be pretty heavy. What do you have to say to the American public today about the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, it's just very unpopular.
Right.
Most Americans don't want that.
I mean, I personally am super in support of women having equal rights as men. I don't know why anyone else would think otherwise. So
That's a great comment. One other question. How would you suggest that America solves this via the legal process?
Probably by using the legislature to make it so abortion is protected through the legislature.
Through like the legal process, you're saying?
Yeah, like you make a bill.
It'll take a lot of stuff with the Supreme Court and the like.
Oh, you can go past the Supreme Court. You don't need the Supreme Court for it. You just need to
Congress,
draft a bill. Yeah, through Congress.
Yeah.
same.
So what you're saying is that in order to fight against this, in essence, you'd need to do things very legally and try and err on the side of caution. Is that it?
Well, just push it through the Congress.
Give a lot of thought to it, is what you're saying, with representatives in Congress.
Yeah,
like
make sure they vote yes on a bill to protect abortion rights.
I agree. The legal system is very important and represents one of the most important facets of the American system. Well, thanks for your answers. All right, so what would you have to say to the American public considering the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade?
It's abhorrent. It's degrading everything that this country stands for, which is the liberalness of human rights. And the fact that we are going back on set precedents shows that we are in a time where fascist parties are taking over, and the best thing that all of us can do is vote and protest.
Great.
Exactly. Fight for democracy. That's what we're doing here.
Democracy is important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fight for the rights of people. Because women's rights are human rights, and human rights are women's rights.
Let's go.
So you're saying fight for all rights.
Yes.
That looks so cool.
Fantastic.
Right
All right, one more question here before I go. Do you believe that today's Supreme Court decision is in direct conflict with the Constitution?
Absolutely. The Constitution is a document that was created by white guys, but the power that the people have is to change that document and make it into what it needs to be, which is a universal declaration of human rights.
Excellent.
Everything Tyler said.
Yeah. That's how you'd argue that it's in a direct conflict with the Constitution.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for your time today. What would you say to the American public considering the Supreme Court's decision this morning?
I think it's wrong. I think it's unconstitutional. I think that if people are going to make laws about people's bodies, then they can just fuck right off.
Where would you suggest America go from here?
I mean, I hope that our president will take action. I hope that people will listen to women, and we need to vote. Young people need to get out there and vote. Reproductive rights are human rights, and everybody's entitled to their own.
Absolutely, it's about human rights.
Nobody should be making rules about anybody else's body, especially not men about women, because they don't fucking
I
know
100%
anything.
agree. As a man, I think what's happened today is appalling.
It is. It's disgusting.
Absolutely. Would you say that the decision today is in direct conflict with the Constitution?
Yes, absolutely. I think that the Constitution is outdated, and even if it doesn't mention women's rights specifically, I think that it mentions human rights and the right to choose.
And women's rights are human rights.
Exactly. And
So you think there should be a solidified amendment to the Constitution which guarantees the right to human rights?
Yes, absolutely. Right to all humans' rights for them to choose.
Very powerful. Thanks for answering today. What would you say to the American public about the Supreme Court's decision this morning to overturn Roe v. Wade?
That it's horrible. and we're going back in time. And fuck all of the Supreme Court justices.
You say it's a form of sociological regression of sorts, like societal degradation.
This is?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah, that's the question. One more thing before we go. Where would you suggest America take it from here in terms of legislation and reversing the decision?
I think one, we need to not base everything on the Constitution, and secondly, make some new kind of rule where the Supreme Court isn't in there for life and it's based on vote from the people.
So not a life term for the Supreme Court, and more common sense legislation over adherence to the Constitution.
Right.
That would be your general guide for where it goes from here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, fantastic. Thanks for answering the question today. Well, you heard it here first, folks. That's the words of the people right there. It truly is a dark day in America, an assault on our country's integrity, an insult to our nation's policies. Remember, people, the best way to participate in a functioning first world democracy is to get out and vote, write your governor about pressing political issues that you find especially pertinent, and engage in open protest on the street. That's very important. I was very moved and inspired by the protest today. There was a lot of rising tension and a lot of bitter thoughts, and I suppose in the weeks and months ahead we'll have to see how this plays out, but put democracy first. I am saddened and disheartened by what's gone on today, and the people back there are noble crusaders in this fight of ours, the American fight. Remember to vote, remember to enact local legislation and national legislation. Remember to participate in the institutions that govern you, because that is the most important action you can take as an American citizen. Until next time, this has been Nick on the Streets, signing off on this dark, bleak day here in America.